Hi,
Hi.
Summer. How's it going? It's been a little bit since we've been able to meet. How's everything going?
It's been going good. Sorry I didn't join earlier. I was expecting to meet on Skype and
Oh,
I didn't
sorry.
have a link for Zoom. It's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. You know what? That was probably just my mistake then. I probably got mixed up on where we were meeting. Sorry about that. I know
It's
too with the
okay.
weeks like switching off to having the different weeks that you switched weeks with your mom and dad that that might have gotten confusing too. So and I didn't know with the time change with daylight savings because some places change and some don't. So it's like, oh, I wonder, so I thought maybe I made a mistake. So you're right. I remember we had talked about doing Skype. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Alrighty, well, I'm glad we're here. Okay, is your voice feeling good?
Mhm.
Awesome, that's good to hear. Okay, so then what would you say would be a good focus for today? Something you would like to work on?
Um, I guess because before we worked on betrayed characters, now
Yeah.
I want to work on a character that is betraying somebody.
Ooh, the contrast. I like it. Yeah. Can you think of any characters that that are like that they are betraying someone else?
Mhm. Not really.
Okay. So what's maybe a show or a movie that you've watched, in recent days, that's maybe kind of like fresh on your mind?
Uh, I'm kind of I can't really think of the names of them because I
Oh,
haven't watched
sure.
shows in a while. It's more videos and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think of some people that are kind of iconic. Um, So one, Boromir in Lord of the Rings and Fellowship of the Ring, the first of the trilogy, he betrays Frodo and tries to like attack him and take the ring. So that's one that I thought of. In Indiana Jones, Mac betrays Indiana Jones and like tries to help the Soviets capture him. That's the Crystal Skull one. Um, In Iron Man, Obadiah is one. There's like a terrorist group that's supposed to kill him so that he can like they can take over Stark Industries. So just trying to think of different people. Um, my brother loves horror movies and um I don't know why, but he loves them. There's like there's one about a cult, and then it's like, mm, it's like I don't know, like she makes a deal with a demon, like, and then sacrifices family and stuff. So that's like an interesting. I haven't watched it. He just told me about it. But it's like I think the grandma maybe like or like an ancestor made a deal with a demon or something, and there's like a cult. It's called Hereditary. Um, so you could even think of something as simple as like when Harry and Ron and Hermione are all like on the run and looking for Horcruxes, and then Ron leaves, like he abandons Hermione and Harry for a little while because the Horcrux that they have is like affecting him and he's being swayed by it basically. It's like a necklace and it's causing him to act differently than he normally would. But he like abandons them basically, which definitely I think feels like a betrayal, especially for Hermione. Um, so Or like in Star Wars, there's like Lando betrays Han Solo is one. So I feel like there's um, a lot of examples out there. It's just we have to, pick one and then work on a script and a character for that. So do any of those stand out to you? Like, have you seen any of those shows or are you familiar with any of them?
I've seen all the Harry Potter movies.
Okay. All right. So I feel like there are a few moments of betrayal in Harry Potter. Um,
Mhm.
um, so I'm trying to think of like female characters too.
Like
Um,
Narcissa.
yeah, that could be one. Yeah. I know like Peter Pettigrew like betrayed Harry's dad, right? Um,
Hmm.
Snape is like really complicated and it can kind of feel like, like you never know where he's at and he like appears to be betraying people. Mad Eye Moody is he basically like betrayed the trust of the staff and the students um to like help bring Harry to Voldemort. Um but yeah, what do you think would be maybe a good character to work with?
Um, I mean, like when I said betraying characters, I thought of like ones that brag about it instead of like that sudden
Ooh,
reveal
yeah.
that they're like keeping quiet about, because they don't have many lines for that.
Mm. That's a good point. Yeah. Maybe Bellatrix, is very like talks about it a lot, or like Rita Skeeter, I feel like is very vocal. Or like Dolores Umbridge is another who's very like proud of herself. Um, Hermione kind of like brags, but I don't see her as being anyone who would like ever betray anyone she cares about.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I feel like we definitely have some, or even maybe like Draco's mom at some point. Though I don't quite see her like at the same level as like Bellatrix.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, okay, so let's see what we can find. Uh, okay, so she's Bellatrix, like some of her things that are really important, like she's very proud of her pure blood wizard heritage. She's very loyal to Voldemort, and she's like very disdainful if she feels like somebody's like a mudblood, right? Like somebody who's not pure blood, they're inferior to her kind of
Hmm.
thing. Um, so um, all right, let's try this chunk here. I know she has like that point where she's like torturing Hermione and trying to get
Hmm.
information out of her, and she like takes her wand and like carves mud blood into Hermione's arm. I think this might be from that. I'm not sure exactly. Um or it could be like her talking to Harry. Um so when you read this in the chat, what do you think?
Um, Yeah, it kind of sounds like that. Or she's like talking to another wizard during the war at Hogwarts.
Could be. Yeah. Right. That, just like in regular battling times. Yeah, it could be like a professor protecting students or, you know, just somebody that's on, the good guy side. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, so what do we know about Bellatrix as far as like personality and, the way that she talks?
She's a bit nuts.
She is a bit unhinged. She's kind of all over the place. Like she's a little bit neurotic. She'll be kind of like in one zone and then she'll quickly like flip to another. She's very melodramatic. I feel like she'll be like quiet and listening and then all of a sudden she'll be like raving. So she can just like a light switch just change on a dime.
Hmm.
Sometimes she'll draw out her words and make them more stretched and then other times she'll like race through them. So I feel like it's a lot of contrasts and changes with her, that it's like rapid changes. um so thinking about those really sharp beat shifts for her.
Hmm.
Yeah. So can
Yeah.
let's just try reading through it once, just kind of see how it goes, just kind of getting the your mouth wrapped around the words.
Okay. Oh, you think you understand loyalty, do you? You pathetic, simpering little fool. You have no idea what it means to serve a true master, to dedicate your every breath, your every thought to a power greater than yourself.
Good. Yeah. All right. So with her voice, I feel like she kind of like spits the words out at people a bit more, like with the disdain she feels, like she kind of like really exaggerates and spits out the words a bit more. She also like I feel like you can incorporate kind of like a witchy quality with her too. Oh, you think you understand loyalty, do you? Like you can kind of incorporate a little bit more of like the ugliness and the like a little bit of nasality in there. What do you think?
Mhm. I mean, I think I understand what you were saying when you were like spit, like you were saying spit the words out.
Yeah.
She's basically, she despises talking to them so much that she like shows disdain through her words.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and try that again.
Okay. Oh, you think you understand loyalty, do you? You pathetic, simpering little fool. You have no idea what it means to serve a true master, to dedicate your every breath, your every thought to a power greater than yourself.
Nice. Good. Yeah, I think you can play a little bit more with the pitch variation too, because that's gonna play up the melodrama for her, like a power greater than yourself. Like where
Hmm.
she is higher and then she's lower and it like scoops up and down a little bit more just for that melodrama.
Yeah. I mainly didn't change it all that much because I wasn't thinking of like her just being melodramatic mainly in the situation, but more she was focusing on her hate for the character she was like
Ah.
yelling at.
Yeah, like
So
she's about to kill him.
mhm.
She is fond of Avada Kedavra, right?
She still had like that slight pitch change to the higher part of it to have a bit more fun with it, but
Yeah.
she mainly focused on yelling at them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Like this is right before she zapped him, and she's just like
Hmm.
laser focused on the task at hand and is like, I'm gonna scold you a tiny bit before I, do away with you.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like they probably were talking to her and are like, I'm loyal to the wizards and I'm loyal to Dumbledore and I'm loyal to our principals or whatever. And they're like, how could you betray our kind or something? And she's like, so think about what you're responding to, what you're reacting to as well.
Mhm. One more time.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you think you understand loyalty, do you? You pathetic, simpering little fool. You have no idea what it means to serve a true master, to dedicate your every breath, your every thought to a power greater than yourself.
Yeah. Oh, I like that the best so far. What did you think of that take? What did you like about it?
I almost spit on my mic, so.
So you were definitely getting the kind of spitting out your words at them. Good.
Yeah.
What was something that felt improved there? What was maybe something that you feel like is a key takeaway from that?
I feel like I felt better about how she basically taunted the character.
Yeah. Yeah, like almost like she's toying with them a bit or like mocking them and their
Mhm.
morals and their nobility. Yeah, I like that too. I thought it worked really well. Um, is there anything that you would want to change about that, or were you happy with that take?
I think like if I looked back on this, I'd want to change something, but for now I'm
Yeah,
happy with how it turned
I
out.
really liked it. Honestly, like if you had recorded it just like that, I would have been like, that was great. I really enjoyed it. I thought that was really good. Awesome. Okay, so then this one is Rita Skeeter. So I went ahead and put that into the chat there. So
My
she's
eyes are
the,
not,
journalist, the nosy
yeah.
lady who like,
My eyes are not shiny with the ghost of my past.
yeah. Yeah, I feel like too, she's always sort of like twisting things to her own way. Like, when Hermione gives Harry a hug in the tent, like wishes him well for the Triwizard tournament. She's like, "Ooh, young love," and just like twists
He
it
can
to her
die.
way. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, and if you die, it might be on the front page. And
It's always gonna be on the front page, apparently. But
yeah.
like the crazy thing is, in like the movies, Hermione basically does nothing to stop her. But in the books, she has Rita Skeeter all the way throughout, like the rest of the books from I think the third or the fourth one. She has Rita Skeeter as a bug in a jar that's indestructible. So even if she tried to break out of it, she'd die.
Yeah. So it's like, well, vengeance. But yeah, it's, you know, Hermione is sometimes an excellent wizard, and you probably don't want to mess with that. But yeah, Rita, she just is like, I'm gonna make what I want work for me.
Mhm.
So that I would think would feel like a betrayal if you were someone who was trusting her and talking to her of your own free will, and then she twisted things around. I'm sure there are quite a few people who dislike her.
Yeah.
So, but also she's very proud of all of her accomplishments and who she is. So I could definitely see her bragging about it and like being like, oh, yes, I do all these things. I'm great.
Mhm.
All right. Like you can see in this strip, she's kind of putting a spin on it. She's saying, like, oh, yeah, I put a little twist here. I add some intrigue. I mean, she's admitting what she does, you know? So, yeah. So, who do you think she could be talking to? Do you think she'd be talking to Hermione?
Yeah, probably. Hermione seems like the most bugged about it.
Yeah.
Even like even though she only experienced it once.
Yeah. Yep. So, let's have maybe like this is Hermione being upset and like about to get her vengeance, and Rita's like, "Oh, darling, you're making too much of this. Oh, silly teenage hormones, basically, right?" Um,
Mhm.
yeah, so Hermione is very upset about the paper and the picture that came out, and you confront Rita, and this is how Rita responds.
Okay. Hold on. All right. Oh, darling, it's not my fault that people simply can't resist a juicy story. I merely give the public what they crave. Secrets, scandals. Oh, and a delightful little whispers that bring wizards and witches to their knees. There's a fine art to it, spinning tales, shaping opinions, capturing the truth in just the right shade. Some might call it embellishment, but I prefer to think of it as enchantment. After all, where's the harm in a little twist here, a dash of intrigue there?
Yeah, good. Right. So you're just very like, you're like, oh, it's nothing. It's totally fine. I'm just entertaining, So clearly Hermione is very upset, but you were just like poo-pooing it and being like, oh, it's no big deal. We're just giving them a show, you know?
You silly little thing.
Right. It's like, oh, I'm just feeding the beast, doing my job. Um, and so do you feel like how do you feel like it can change throughout? Like, at first you're kind of dismissive, like, "Ugh, it's not my fault. You're defending yourself and you're blaming it on other people. Then you're kind of bragging about it, I feel like, you're like, oh, there's an art to it. You're like, oh, I can spin tales, shape opinions, you know. Um, and I feel like you're very proud of what you do.
Mm.
Um, I could see her like giving her a wink at the end or something, that it's more playful. So I feel like you could be kind of like dismissive of it, making excuses, blaming it on other people, but then also just being like, but I'm really good at my job.
Mhm.
Let me tell you how it's done. You're like, let me, I can share some of my secrets with you. Um, so letting it have a little bit more nuance throughout. Yeah, can we try that again?
Mhm.
Great.
Oh, darling, it's not my fault that people simply can't resist a juicy story. I merely give the public what they crave. Secrets, scandals, and the delightful little whispers that bring wizards and witches to their knees. There's a fine art to it, spinning tales, shaping opinions, capturing the truth in just the right shade. Some might call it embellishment, but I prefer to think of it as enchantment. After all, where's the harm in a little twist here and a dash of intrigue there?
Nice. Yeah, I like that better. All right. I'd love to hear you go through and think about the key words that you want to bring out and emphasize. Think about leaning into those, stressing those a bit more, and having those really strong points of view about any people, places, or things that you mention.
Okay, I'll try again.
Okay.
Oh, darling, it's not my fault that people simply can't resist a juicy story. I merely give the public what they crave. Secrets, scandals, and that delightful little whispers that bring wizards and witches to their knees. There's a fine art to it, spinning tales, shaping opinions, capturing the truth in just the right shade. Some might call it embellishment, but I prefer to think of it as enchantment, enhancement, and enchantment. After all, where's the harm in a little twist here and a dash of intrigue there?
Yeah, I like that because it's like it changes tempos throughout. And then too, we had more little dramatic pause moments that sort of emphasize or accent the next thing that comes after, and it makes those things feel more important. It just gives them a little bit more of a spotlight on those moments, which I think worked really beautifully. Awesome. What did you think of that take?
I'm upset that I kind of messed up in the
Oh,
middle, but I like how I like
you did a
shifted
beautiful
the.
job, though, getting back on track. It's really hard to keep that momentum and keep going when we flub up there. But you did such a beautiful job of being like, oops, and then just continuing on and staying emotionally engaged. That was actually really impressive. In auditions, it's a lot more impressive when you can make a mistake and keep going than it is when everything just goes perfectly exactly as you planned. If there
Mhm.
is something funky that happens and you're able to just like stick to your guns and stay focused and stay emotionally engaged and keep going, that is very impressive. So that was really well done, I thought. Um, and everything that you were doing definitely outshined that little blip because you kept going. So you did the most important thing. So why don't we go ahead and try it again so that you can feel a little bit better and like, all right, I got through it. No flub ups there.
Okay. Oh, darling, it's simply sorry. Oh,
Okay.
darling, it's not my fault that people simply can't resist a juicy story. I merely give the public what they crave. Secrets, scandals, and that delightful little whispers that bring wizards and witches to their knees. There's a fine art to it, you know. Spinning tales, shaping opinions, capturing the truth in just the right shade. Some might call it embellishment, but I prefer to think of it as enhancement. After all, where's the harm in a little twist here and a dash of intrigue there?
Nice. Good. I really enjoyed that. What did you think?
I feel much better about it.
Good. Excellent. That was very well done. All right. So I also found Umbridge. So I thought we could take a look at her, Dolores Umbridge. So I'm guessing this is her talking, like addressing the students, the school, maybe like when the students are found with their like Dumbledore's army room or something, like this is a time when the students were all seen as rebelling, right? Um, and
Mhm.
she's giving them a harsh talking to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Rules are meant to be followed. Authority is meant to be obeyed. This nonsense about freedom and rebellion is precisely why I brought you here. To restore discipline, to teach all of you the difference between right and wrong. There will be no more foolishness, no more disruptive behavior, and certainly no tolerance for dangerous ideas. Hogwarts will be a model institution for the ministry, or so help me, there will be consequences.
Nice. Good. All right. So, what do you think happened right before this?
Um,
Like, what do you think she's referring to?
the dangerous idea of going against the ministry's wishes for having her there and taking back over so they can have like a more carefree, I guess, experience at Hogwarts again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And she's like, oh, no, no, no. I don't think so. Yeah.
Mhm.
Good. All right. So then let's go ahead and we're going to try that again and really lay down the law. Like you were like, I will not tolerate this. It's not going to happen on my watch.
Okay. Rules are meant to be followed. Authority is meant to be obeyed. This nonsense about freedom and rebellion is precisely why I've been brought here. To restore discipline, to teach all of you the difference between right and wrong. There will be no more foolishness, no more disruptive behavior, and certainly no tolerance for dangerous ideas. Hogwarts will be a model institution of the ministry, or so help me, there will be consequences.
Nice. Good. Yeah, I really like that it was like I like the moment where you go a little bit higher at the end. Like she gets upset and she gets like a little bit shrill, her voice will raise up in pitch. So I really liked that coming out there. Good. What did you think of that?
I feel like because the reason I didn't go like fully authoritative and angry with it was because her personality is very like fake and focused on seeming like this all righteous, like innocent woman, basically. So
Yeah.
she constantly smiles and acts happy even though she's like upset or yelling or something. So she'll raise her
Yeah.
voice while still smiling and she'll try to keep like the calm voice to seem more in control
Right.
of the situation.
She does do that, yes. She tries to be like, I am perfect at all times, even
Hmm.
though she's usually angry or self-satisfied and prideful. Yeah. So, um, she also like tries to be very girly and prim and put together all the
Hmm.
time. What are some things that, like, I feel like she's kind of old fashioned. She's very set in her ways. What are things that kind of stand out to you that you think of with this character?
Um, well, I feel like because I think she doesn't exactly like she doesn't take criticism well, that's obvious.
Correct.
But
She does not.
but I feel like even though she like because she'll notice some people have specific opinions about them and sometimes she'll take advantage of that. Like
Yeah.
um how I think it was Filch
Oh,
who had
yeah.
the crush on her.
Mm.
She'd always use that as like she'd use him to find out what the kids were doing and like
Mm.
take advantage of him just like for her own gain. But she'd do
Right.
it in a way that made it seem like she was just asking for help and had no idea how he felt about her.
Right. Yeah, that she manipulated emotions to get what she wanted to
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah. And I feel like she does that throughout. Like that's kind of one of her go-tos, like humiliating someone or, you know, calling on their moral nature, like, oh, you're a good and moral person. So I know you'll understand this. Like, I feel like she's just generally a very manipulative person.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, what are other things that you would say kind of stand out to you here?
In this situation, she's more upset than she normally shows herself as. So she like puts on a mask a lot
Yeah.
and she hides how she's actually feeling again to stay in control. But in this situation,
Yeah.
she knows like they know how upset she is. So she knows that like even if she did raise her voice, they'd still pay attention because
Mm.
they're worried what she might do, considering she was like a ministry employee.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. So, so if we do it one more time, what would you say would be maybe the main focus here, the thing that you want to focus on doing with this character?
I think I'm gonna change how she has less of an authoritarian tone, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, is that the right word?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's try it.
Because I didn't do it much the last two times, so I
Sure.
want to see how it sounds.
Yeah, that's all right.
Rules are meant to be followed. Authority is not meant to be. Oof. Authority is meant to be obeyed. This nonsense about freedom and rebellion is precisely why I've been brought here. To restore discipline, to teach all of you the difference between right and wrong. There will be no more foolishness, no more disruptive behavior, and certainly no tolerance for dangerous ideas. Hogwarts will be a model institution for the ministry, or so help me, there will be consequences.
Nice. I loved it. That was really well done. What did you What did you think of that take?
It felt more her, I guess, to me.
Yeah, I agree. That was really well done. Yeah, it always feels to me like she's just this close to coming totally unhinged and losing it.
Mm.
So, yeah, like I feel like you got like that kind of like she's about to like, whistle like a tea kettle kind of a feeling. So,
Hmm.
yeah, very nice. So, good, excellent work there. Let me see. I thought maybe I had found one more script. Nope, that was the last one that I had found of those for today. Some other characters that we maybe could have taken a look at that I was thinking like I don't know, maybe like Pansy, who's this Slytherin house girl who's friends with Draco. Um, I don't know, like she could have been one, but I felt like these were probably the most over the top, like fun, contrasting characters from it. So,
Hmm.
yeah, awesome work on that. So keep up the great practice and think about what you'll want to work on in our next session. That was really good. Do you have any thoughts as to like key takeaways from this session, things that you want to kind of tuck into your brain and use later?
I do not.
Okay, that's all right. Sometimes I need some time to kind of let it marinate before I get those light bulb moments. It's like, oh, okay. So this. Yeah, like after a movie, friends will be like, "What'd you think?" And I'm like, "I don't know yet. I need to
Give
kind of
me a
sit on it
second.
for a minute." Yeah. And then I can talk to them the next day about it. But it's like, I don't know. I gotta just kind of mull it over for a while, and reflect. So awesome work today, Summer. I definitely heard improvement there on all three of them. Keep up the great work, and I'll see you soon, okay?
Okay,
All
bye.
right. Bye, Summer.